discussing prison reform, the professor says in Switzerland, domestic abusers get to go to rehabilitative facilities instead of prison. Once there, she says if they complete a few courses, they get to go home. If they behave, they get to stay home. I ask her, well, what does it look like when the men misbehave? She says, back into the facility they go. I say, no, professor, what does it look like when the men misbehave? She looks uncomfortable, so I ask again, what does it look like when men misbehave? Does it look like a raised voice or a raised fist, like a slammed door or a slammed waist, like door shut, chair thrown, glass break, like cowering in the other room waiting for him to go to sleep, like you trying to protect your mom and your mom trying to protect you, like childhood dropped and growing up way too soon? Is that what it looks like when men misbehave? Perhaps it looks like an entire lifetime of trying to tell the difference between love and abuse, like pouring yourself into countless men, because perhaps if you love them hard enough, they'll change. Does it look like hypervigilance, like trauma, like pain, like women of color having to choose between gender and race, like women of color being used as anger outlets, like women of color bailing out their men to protect them from a corrupt prison system or a corrupt immigration system, only to come home and they invite them instead? When I was 14 years old, my stepfather was locked up by ICE. The weight of courtroom visits and lawyer appointments, a weight my mother was not equipped to catch. She turned to me with my proud chin and my good English, said, Mija, please help me bring him back. We were all we had. I said, Mommy, I'll help you bring him back. I knew about his criminal record, knew about the drive without license, knew about the DUI. I was surprised by the fractured wrist, the face lacerations, and my mother's black eye. I told her, Mommy, here or in Mexico, I'll gladly let that piece of shit rot. She said, Mija, no, please, it's been a long time. He's changed. Just help me bring him back. Is that what it looks like when men misbehave? Does it look like therapy and prescription pills, like avoiding therapy and taking the prescription pills, like unhealthy coping mechanisms, like being labeled daddy issues, like ignoring our own pain because we know that other people have had it worse, like ignoring our own pain now because we know that, hey, we have had it worse? Does it look like flashbacks on the bus, on a car, on a walk during sex? Does it look like lovers trying to understand? Does it look like always trying to forget the smell of his cologne on my skin? Does it look like 3 showers a day? Does it look like being asked, how many years did it go on for again? Or like being told, you know, it's not really good for you to carry all of this around. Does it look like saying, then please help me find somewhere to put it down? Does it look like never knowing where to put it down? Or does it look like being called a bitch when you say you don't give a fuck about men's oppression because it's so often their frustration of a corrupt system that ends up leaving a trail of women traumatized, battered, or dead? Or does it look like making excuses for them because their childhoods were hard too? Does it look like little boys watching and learning and following suit, like thinking it's okay to hit your kids because your parents hit you and you turned out just fine? Does it look like cycles repeated, like women defeated, like women's pain is always the sacrifice we're willing to make so that a man learns a lesson because, hey, he'll never do it again because, hey, you know, he just lost control. It'll never happen again because, hey, fuck you, bitch. You know, it's not all men. When men misbehave, you get another slam poem. You get another 10. You get another woman approaching you afterwards saying, thank you for speaking your truth. I completely understand. It looks like another woman always being able to understand. It looks like another woman never being able to understand who she could have been before all the violence and pain. When men misbehave, it looks like violence and pain. When men misbehave, it looks like violence and pain. Thank you.